motorcycle specialties or something like that in the tag, but it's made in Japan. I found it at the Goodwill bins for like $2. Uh, Looked up the comps, man, and the comps are going for like $250 pre-owned. So I was literally mind blown. Uh, I listed it. I had it listed for like 250, and someone lowballed me, and then we got into a bidding war, and then finally someone else swooped in and offered me 190. So I just went ahead and accepted it. Well, I guess it got it in the mail today, and it was too small and too tight in the chest. So either that on the garment it tells you to wash as little as possible. So maybe that was the first time it had been washed was when I washed it, or who knows. But the guy said it was too tight in the chest. So I guess when I get it back, I'll just make a notation of that. If it's tight, check measurements. But I put check measurements in three different places, and it still doesn't matter. So I'll go above and beyond the next time it sells. Yeah, that's all my fault. Oh man, that sucks. No sound. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah. But the thing about it is, if it's sold once, it can sell again. It's shipped in a flat rate envelope, so it's not too much of a loss on the shipping cost. So I could recoup it on the next sale. Hopefully, this time it sells for closer to what I had it listed for. So it is what it is. I'm just glad that it wasn't an INAD because I would have been super hot if I got an INAD return at the same time
Right.
on having to refund $190.
Oh yeah, and
It'll
the
go like a
INAT will
kick in the
hurt.
nuts and a punch in the face.
Yeah, yeah, and it'll hurt you more in the long run
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
my volume of sales is enough to where the percentage would be low, but still, I don't want them on my account. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I actually had one of my first can't find item situations in
Yeah.
a super long time. I think I've only had two ever,
What was
and
it?
it was, oh man, I think it was just like a just a run of the mill DVD. It was like a $12 DVD, maybe even a $10
Okay.
DVD. But
So how'd you solve it?
I I just said, message the buyer, said, "Hey, look, I'm totally sorry. I can't find your item."
Man.
And marked it up, so
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some information off camera because I just don't want to go recommending this information to whole all of YouTube land. But I'm gonna give you
okay.
some information on how to solve that to where you don't get a ding on your account. And you can possibly avoid because you never want to not make the sale. You never
Of course.
don't want to ship the item. So I'm gonna give you some information on what I've done and what has been recommended to me, uh, and we'll try to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah, the
So
craziest thing was that I totally expected my sales to slow down. I think this
yeah,
was right before the weekend of last week, I think
mhm.
is when it happened. And like my weekend sales were just as normal as they've
Yeah.
been. So I
You
mean, I
doing
don't
that
know.
once in a blue moon isn't going to affect your sales.
Right.
If you do it like 2 or 3 times in a month, maybe yeah,
Oh
then I
yeah,
would expect it. But
for sure, for
once in
sure.
a quarter, I don't even think it'll affect you much.
Yeah, yeah. I like I said, that was my second time ever that happening,
That's
and it
pretty
was like a
good.
super old item. It just been sitting
Yeah,
around forever, and I'm sure it just got shuffled, on
right.
accident somehow. It got bumped off the shelf, and it
Yeah,
I don't know, got scooped up in a donation pile or whatever it was. I mean, it was very. Obviously all sales matter here, but like it was still an
right,
insignificant sale too, so it
right.
didn't, it's not like 30, 40, 50, $100 got, taken
Yeah.
away from me there, but either
So
way.
speaking of canceled sales, this isn't necessarily like a sale that like I had to cancel. It was a buyer that didn't pay. Yesterday, I noticed I got an email from eBay and it said you successfully canceled this order, and I was like, hold up, wait, I didn't cancel an order. So I get to looking in my email, and it's about a Nike hoodie that somebody ordered but didn't actually pay for.
Oh,
So I was like, all right, well, good thing I checked this. Let me make sure it's relisted. And then I go to look in my store, it's not listed. So number one, I didn't get like a notification on eBay. Number two, they didn't even relist the item.
huh.
So number three, this item would have just been sitting in my storage, unlisted, taking up space, not making me any money, costing me money because I have to pay for the storage unit that it's sitting in.
Sure.
So that's weird, man. And I assume that that's how items end up getting lost in the fray because when you don't cancel an order and it relists that way, eBay's not going to automatically relist it if it times out. So then I wonder how many items I have sitting in my store right now that are not actually listed.
Yeah, same. I'm actually curious about that too. Because yeah, it was like kind of semi recently that I was like, oh, I realized that I need to like manually relist some of these items,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there's some items in my inventory, especially like older stuff that
Yeah,
got canceled and I didn't manually relist it. So
yeah.
just sitting
I'm
there.
gonna have to go through it box by box, like take a box a
I
day or something,
know, I
and go
know.
through it. I
But
have
at least
so
like
much
I
inventory,
at
dude.
least the way that I have it set up is like most of my old inventory doesn't have a SKU number, so I could literally
Yeah,
just go through and look and see what doesn't have a SKU, and
yeah.
then kind of go from there.
Right, right.
So and it has its own space, like my original shelf,
See,
you know.
that it makes
So
it easy for me to look it up that way because all I have to do is go to search and just search by custom SKU
yeah,
and just type in the SKU, and if it's not there, then I'll just have to find the listing from when it was active and just relist it.
right, right.
But still, it's going to take some time to go through almost 3,000 items
Oh
and
yeah,
find out which ones are listed and not listed.
yeah. That's almost like you just kind of take the L, and just kind of be like, eh. I mean, unless it's like something
Kinda,
crazy though,
unless it's like 100 items is not listed,
Well,
so it doesn't take
I
maybe
was gonna
that
say
much.
that it's either 100, it's either multiple items or like a couple really high priced items that you would really
Yeah,
like to have,
right.
active. By the way, what is up, Gibby's girls, Tracy?
What's up, Tiffany?
What's up, David? Tiffany. I was like, remember the name, remember the name.
It starts with a T. It starts with a
Tiffany.
T.
Yep. What's
Yeah.
up, Tiffany? What's up, David? Caught you both live.
What's
Yeah.
up, David?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
man. What's going on with you, bro?
Thanks for catching
Thanks
us.
for coming and kicking. Yep.
Yeah. How's everyone else's sales been this week? I actually sold something on eBay that I've never sold before. I sold a bike on eBay.
Dude, you're gonna have to ship a bike.
It's actually a kid's bike. So it's like
Oh,
it's a
okay.
Strider, so it's one of those small
Right. Where they just
pedalless
coast.
bikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know,
Weren't we
you
just talking about this in the last podcast?
now that I just said that, we were talking about
We were.
that.
We were talking to James about it. Or
Yes.
somebody else.
Yeah,
That's
somebody.
crazy.
Yeah, but yeah,
Spoken into existence, man.
but yeah,
Manifestation.
it sold. I actually listed it super competitively with another person that had a bunch of them, and they were selling them. I think it's $63 free shipping. I listed mine
Yeah.
at the exact same price, but I had a
Yep.
color that they didn't have. I had a yellow one, and they had like the usual like red or blue or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, so it sold in less than a week, full asking price,
Nice.
and I was able to tear it down enough to where I could fit it in a decent sized
Right.
box. I actually used a Chewy box, so that it worked out pretty
Hey,
good. Those
recycle those
those
boxes, man.
yeah, those Chewy boxes are nice for bigger items for sure.
Yeah.
So
Uh, JD Deluxe said, very slow indeed. What's up, fam?
what
What's
up,
up? What's
JD?
going on?
Haven't seen you in the
Uh,
chat in a while.
yeah.
Good to see you.
I made my largest single sell ever this week. What was it, Tiffany?
Hey, yeah, what was
That's
it?
what's up. Uh, Now there is a Tracy in here now. Tracy Zoom, my sales have been average. What's going on, Tracy? Average is better than not average,
Yeah, I agree.
or far below average.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, no, I mean, I will
take what
say
you
that
can get.
the sales today and yesterday have been absolutely smacking. So I've been
Yeah.
super happy. Yeah.
My sales yesterday. So the last few days I've been averaging like no less than 15, but like closer to like 18, 20 ish per day.
Nice.
Uh, but the dollar amount has been close to, if not over $500, like right around 500. So amount wise, it's okay. It's more around where I want it to be.
Yeah, like
Uh,
your average price of sale is good.
yeah,
It
yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
yeah.
So But last, like at the beginning of the week, like I was having like 25 a day sales, so that was pretty good. But you
Yeah.
know, I'm just thankful for any sales at this point.
Oh
You know,
yeah, for
so
sure.
but I've made two since we started this podcast. So
Nice. Dude, I
that
always feel
works
like
for
the
me.
podcast brings the good juju, you
Well,
know,
I got
like
the sound turned down, man, so I don't disturb anything or you know,
we just
cause an uproar in the chat.
we just need like a button that actually plays the sound through the stream. That's what we need.
Yeah. Tiffany said it was a framed set of Disney pins,
What?
$440. Like ink pens or like pen pins on your lapels.
Yeah, are we talking like enamel pins or like yeah, I'm very interested in that. Or
That's
like
still a sick sell though.
that's yeah, that's super sick. Was that a garage sale find? That sounds like a garage sale
Yeah,
find.
that wasn't at no thrift store. So, but thank goodness because that sale saved my week. That's what's up.
Sometimes that's how it
Uh,
goes, you know.
David sold some Sperry Chucker boots today. How about that, dude? I sold some Sperry, not Chucker boots, but I sold a couple Sperry boots last week. I sold some Doc Martens today.
So, all I wanted to ask really quick, what are your guys' experiences with Sperry's just across the board? Because every time I look up
Uh,
Sperry's, I feel like they're just not the comps aren't there.
no,
You
no,
know?
not across the board. It's not one of those unconditional buys. Like you got to get like the rain, like duck boots. You got to
Yeah.
get those,
Okay.
and then like maybe like David said, those Chucker boots. But I've never even come across those. Sperry's are not something that I pick up all of. Like they used to be big, like the boat shoes,
Yeah.
but not anymore, dude. Like it's kind of fizzled on out.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Like the boat shoes were super popular for that little amount of time there, and
Yeah,
every time I come across them, I'm like, that's why they were donated.
yeah.
Like that
And I
nobody's.
mean, but probably like the demographic that was wearing them back when they were popular still has a sweet spot in their heart for them. They'll probably still buy a pair of them. But as far as like newcomers, like jumping on the wave, it's not happening.
Oh, for sure.
You know
I 100% agree with that.
But like with like baggy clothes coming back in, like there's going to be like all different types of looks coming back in to where like a Sperry isn't going to be in style for quite some time if we go in cycles. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure. That's a long, long time from now that
Yeah,
that'll trend back.
yeah.
So, David said, keep the
David
sound of
said he does
Marcus.
well with it.
Hey, yo,
Keep the sound up.
if the people want it, bring it back.
Yeah,
It does
I try.
suck. It honestly does suck though when like one of us is talking and it's just like super loud and it just
Yeah,
interrupts you, you know.
yeah. That's why I got it down. I'll leave it on my channel, but I'll leave it down while when we do our show together.
For sure.
Uh, Disney trading, Disney trading pins. I bought someone's whole collection of thousands of trading pins. Some are worth six, some are 60. I'm well in the profit now. That's
That's
what's up.
wild. That's wild. I kind of want to look these up really quick.
Yeah. While you
That's
do that, I'll read out what David said. He said he does well with Sperry personally, and then he said, however, I pick up Sperry's that are different, like the Chucker boots or different colorway ones. That makes sense.
okay. So yeah, these are all like enamel style pins. Okay, got it. All right, those are cool. Those are cool. All right, interesting. If you guys want to see it, I'll put the link down below. This is just one
It's
listing, but
actually on the screen.
oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's interesting though, David. That like I mean, even with like the boat style shoes, are you still doing well with those?
See, man, I got a pair of those from Profit Monsters, and they sat, dude. I literally had to donate them.
Yeah.
They sat for like close to like better part of a year. Like, you know what? I paid $10 for these things too. Like,
Uh.
I had them listed for like $8, like the price had gotten down to. I was like, I'm just gonna donate it, man. Forget it.
Yeah.
Because by the time I paid for the shipping label, I'd been like super negative in like the negative profit. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, because you have to think like it's at least $8 to ship shoes.
Yeah, for
You
a two
know,
pound
on a
pair of shoes.
priority.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anything over a
right,
pound and an ounce.
definitely. And these, they were.
Oh no. Oh no. Let's not lose Marcus. Okay, there we go. We're good now.
Okay. Um, let's see. You don't have to have the volume way up just enough so we can hear it. LOL.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I
fair.
guess I do have it all the way up.
Somebody
It's because
donated 15 pairs of Mugsy jeans to Goodwill, half new with tags. I've been listing those today. Should sell well. I've never even heard of that brand.
I've
Have
never
you?
heard of that. No,
Yeah, no. I guess that's a there's your bolo for today, guys. Is
nice.
Mugsy
Yeah.
jeans. Interesting, Elizabeth. Well, I wish you the best with
Thanks for
those.
the knowledge. And
Yeah,
speaking of bolos, we're not necessarily a bolo, but a channel you guys want to look out for is Angie Resells.
yeah,
So every podcast that we do now, we're going to give a highlight to one specific channel for the week.
yeah.
This week's channel is Angie Resells. She's based out of Florida, I do believe. Super cool. I've been on her and Bobby the Cat Guy's weekly show before, so I think it was on Bobby the Cat Guy's channel. So, but anyway, uh, one of the things that I really like about Angie's channel is her personality is awesome. She's got pretty cool. She's an everything seller, but she's got a pretty cool knowledge of like things that I would never even pick up. So, for instance, a lot of toys, plush, things like that. And I like the super collectible toys, or just all around the board toys.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
really relatable.
I would say that even as an everything reseller, I instantly, like, the first video that I watched, I learned something from her,
Yeah,
which was
yeah,
awesome. I really also enjoyed that she broke everything down in the analysis of what she sold. Like,
with her analytics and stuff. Yeah,
exactly, she like basically explained like the net sales, after
yeah,
taxes and all the fees and shipping and
yeah,
everything else. So I thought that was really nice. I also really enjoy her choice of background music. Very comforting.
yeah, yeah. And then so also back a few months ago, like when Daily Refinement had gotten banned, she had gotten I think a week's suspension as well. So she goes really deep for a couple of videos on how she had got suspended and gotten her account back together. And clearly she's
Yeah.
doing well again because she's back selling and stuff. So if you guys just want to get some knowledge or just support another reseller, Angie Resells is the name of her channel.
Yep.
She's definitely got pretty great content.
Yeah, I actually was curious about that. I'm glad that as a content creator, they're open and transparent about when these things happen. She actually caught another ban even more recently, a 3-day ban for selling a CVS item, and
Yeah,
I didn't know that CVS was a Vero.
I
Um,
don't either. Was it
but
CVS branded?
it was CVS branded, but
Oh,
apparently they had reported the item, CVS themselves, as
mhm.
not having an expiration date when it was an item that didn't even have an expiration date. So I'm curious if CVS is not 100% a Vero brand, but CVS
Right.
does actively have people going and reporting listings that don't have expiration dates for their, whatever skincare, related, sort of medicine related, I guess,
Yeah.
items.
And see, I had personally gotten, I think it was something in the health and beauty category.
Yeah, health and beauty.
Sucrets. It was Sucrets, and I had gotten them from Tommy Buffalo Picker. He's another YouTuber.
Yeah.
Uh, he sent me a box of stuff I won on his channel during a live stream, and it had some Sucrets in there. And then finally, months and months after I had gotten them, they sold. So when I was going to pack them up, I noticed that they were expired. So I just messaged the buyer and I'm like, "Hey, these are expired. Do you want to cancel?" And he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and cancel them." But there was another item I was selling in that category, and they did take it down because it had expired. Well, I had two or three listings of them that they didn't catch. All of them were expired.
Oh
So I quickly
no.
like got in my account and like double checked and took them all down before they could hit me with the Vero on them.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've only had issues with one Vero, and they just took it down. They emailed me and said, "Hey, don't do this anymore." And I said, "Okay." I mean,
And what was that for?
I don't even, honestly, I don't even remember what it was. I feel like we had talked about it maybe in one of our early podcasts, but
Okay.
I don't typically deal with anything like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I do try to keep a lookout for Veros, of course, like every other reseller, but I
Right.
feel like my line of reselling doesn't really cross that too often. So,
See, well, I had gotten a couple of Veros at the beginning of it when I was an everything seller. One I had gotten a Vero for was Newman's. No, not Newman's. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like some wood, like finisher or paint stripper thinner, something like that. It's
Yeah.
like super vintage, you know what I mean? And it was selling for like $100 a can, and I found three of them at a yard sale. I sold one like almost immediately for $80. Then I had some guy reaching out to me trying to buy all three of the rest of them for like $20 a piece. But he was like talking trash to me, like you trying to sell these for this much, and you'll never get that. Then he ended up buying a bunch of them from somebody else for like $20 a piece, and then messaged me off of another listing. Like, I bet you were real upset when your listings got removed, and you should have just sold them to me. Ha ha ha! And I didn't even know that they had gotten removed until he messaged me. And literally,
Oh.
I checked my email, and earlier that day they did send me a message like, "Hey, we took your listing down. It violates the hazardous materials listing kind of whatever,
Yeah.
so I wasn't supposed to list it." And then another girl I got was for brand new Nike in the global shipping program. You can't sell that or brand new tags Levi's in the global shipping program. You can sell
Okay.
it domestically, but you cannot list new tags Nike or Levi's in global shipping because they have contracts with those other countries with retailers and stuff that are exclusive rights to that region of the country that they're in. So for you and I to come in lowballing, undercutting this person that has this exclusive deal with Nike, then we're tanking the market. We're messing the market up for Nike and the retailer. So that's why they have the ban on the global shipping program.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Bo said Calvin Klein new tag vintage underwear Vero for shipping to Europe. So there's another new tags
Ooh.
item
That's
to the UK or to the global shipping program.
that's
So
a very specific thing, and that's also something that, like, now that I'm sort of slowly wading into the waters of clothes reselling, I don't even know if I'll do like international shipping. In your opinion, like, do you think that that would ultimately hurt me in the long run if I didn't do
yeah,
international shipping?
I get a lot of global shipping sales all the time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to be on my P's and Q's, you
And this
know?
is the thing about the global shipping program as well, which makes it so like if you get a claim for a lost package or anything like that, the global shipping handles it because all you got to do is get it to Erlanger, right, and then
Right.
it's in their hands from there.
Right.
Or for instance, I had a case a couple weeks back. Someone says that instead of a pair of shoes that I sold them, they received a Pokemon card. Number one, y'all know I ain't selling no Pokemon cards. Number two, Number two, the package arrived to Erlanger, Kentucky, where they inspect the package at, right? So eBay would have seen if I shipped a Pokemon card, they would never have then shipped it from Erlanger to wherever it was going. So eBay protects you from negative feedback through the global shipping program. They'll protect you from buyers saying they didn't get the right package because they're supposed to check the package. And then usually you get to keep the money from the sale as well. So it's kind of a win-win with the global shipping. Only way that you'll have to do a return with, like, if you don't accept returns, is if it is an item not as described. Uh,
Right.
but that's I mean, so far, knock on wood, I haven't received one of those from the global shipping sale.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, I mean, yeah. It's hard it's hard to get that,
You
like
just can't
y-
let the few negative people out and the bad seeds out there ruin
exactly.
your experience of being a seller on eBay. There's a phrase that goes around in the Reseller Nirvana podcast that we're part of, and it's "Don't let pennies hold up dollars." So if I'm going to let one possible return or one possible, Vero, not even a Vero, because if it's on the Vero list and I know about it, I'm not listing it.
Right.
But if I'm going to let the fear of something happening, in the global shipping program, make me not sell in the global shipping program and miss out on potential thousands of dollars a year, then that's pennies holding up a dollar. One sale versus many.
No,
And
for
I
sure.
get global shipping sales every week, usually every day, but most of the time every week.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to open that back up because as it sits right now, I do not ship globally. So, yeah. But that's also,
With
being an
everything
everything
sellers,
seller.
I don't know. I
So,
really don't know honestly with being an everything seller. You'd have to That would have to be something you take at your own discretion. But as for me, with selling clothing and the brands that I
Right.
sell, so far it's been okay.
No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. But also, I just had a thought of like, so for example, like you're going to make a listing. You're going and you're saying, all right, Calvin Klein, Nua tags. You set this up, okay? You have Calvin Klein as the brand. You have Nua tags as the condition. Now, you're a seller and eBay knows that you ship globally, okay? Why don't they alert you and say, hey, by the way, this could
Switch to the
potentially
car,
be a
right?
Vero?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
think that they would have this type of protection put into place,
well, it's like,
right? And then they give you a ding on your account when they should have a procedure set up to block this from even being a thing.
yeah, yeah. I think that that's a little. I don't even know the word that I'm looking for. A little sort of not scummy.
Sketchy. It's
It's it's
it's it's shady, definitely.
it's kind of like, hey, there's this big book of Veros, and we expect you
Yeah.
to know all of them as a
But the thing
seller.
is, though, is if you look at the Vero list, every brand's on there. It's
Sure.
just because they're on there doesn't mean they're actively sending out Veros, though.
Well,
Like
and
there
it's
are
also
brands that are though.
right, and it's also specific items. Like Bo was saying, it's only, I guess, underwear. Is it only
It
underwear?
might possibly be newer tag stuff
Or
where he
just
just only tried selling underwear.
or that, yeah. If what if it was a used pair of vintage under, which LOL. But you know, if it was a used pair of vintage underwear, that's not clearly defined.
Right.
You know, on the Vero list. I mean, somebody correct me if
See,
I'm
there's
wrong.
certain things you can sell used, but in the same brand you can't sell it new. Like North Face newer tags from the current season, you can't sell on eBay. You'll get a
Is
Vero,
it only the current
but you can
season?
sell. It's only newer tags from the current season. I can
Huh.
sell a used item from the current season, I believe. I don't want to put my hand on the Bible and swear, but I
Yeah.
believe as long as it's not new, you can sell from the current year. But if it's new with tags from the current year, you can't sell it. They'll
That's
come after
interesting. Yeah,
you.
I like, how do they, where do they, yeah, they need to have something set up to at least alert
Yeah,
you to the possibility that you're
yeah,
kind of walking a dangerous path,
the
you know?
only time I've ever ran into something where they didn't allow me to list it was way back when I first got started selling. I listed a scrap back hat with Velcro on it, right? And I couldn't
Yeah.
get the listing to go through. It would not list. So I
Yeah.
called eBay and I was like, "What's going on? This listing won't let me list it." And they're like, "Oh, you're using Velcro in the title, and that's on the Vero list. You can't use it." So if they could stop the Velcro listing from being sent live, why can't they implement that on everything that's on the Vero list?
I can't agree anymore. You know, it's
Yeah.
even funny because like eBay, the app will suggest you should use the term like hook and yeah, hook and loop instead of the
Yeah.
word Velcro. So I
Right.
know y'all mother effers up there,
They know.
you know, you can
They
set
know.
this up for Velcro, but you can't set this up for Calvin Klein global
Right.
shipping new tags.
Right.
Like,
It's
come
crazy,
on,
man. And then
come
you
on.
just gotta hope that you're in the know on the certain items that you can get the Vero on. So
Yeah,
that way you don't end up listing them. Like for instance, Quicksilver boating, some like their boating parts for I guess marina, just in general. Buddy of mine, Ohio Picker on Instagram, just got said he's been selling Quicksilver parts for months now, 2 or 3 months now, and he's sold a lot of them, and he's got so much more in stock, and now they hit him with a Vero. So
man.
you let this guy sell the stuff for 2 months, multiple items, and now he's got a whole bunch more, and he can't sell none of them. Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I'm mad. I'm mad at that. You know, if I'm that person, I'm mad.
yeah, definitely.
Like, dude.
It just sucks because I love eBay. You know what I mean? There's some things about it that I don't love, but now you gotta get to another platform to get rid of those items that aren't eBayable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's just another step in your process. Now you got to separate this stuff and leave it over there, and then list it all on Poshmark or Mercari or whatever platform you decide, or local sales on Facebook.
yeah.
And Facebook's so floppy, wish-washy. Like,
Oh yeah,
is this item available? Yes, it is. Now what? Y'all ghosted you. You know what I mean?
yeah, man.
So,
Oh, what a nightmare. I'm getting ready to sell one of my smokers, my smaller smoker, And like
Yeah,
I've been trying so hard to sell it to friends or friends of friends
yeah.
or family friends or family friends, uncles, brothers, cousin, somebody connected, because like I just don't want to list it on Facebook locally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I am not
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
I don't even have a patio, dude, so I got no need for a smoker.
I mean, it's a good deal and everything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
David said,
Uh,
I have global shipping on, but I don't get any sales from it. I'm not sure if it isn't set up right, but I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, yeah, it could just be happenstance. When I did have it enabled, I got maybe one global sale, maybe a month, but I was also a baby at that point. I was still a young reseller. So, well,
Tracy said maybe you could just not list newer tag items as available for global shipping. And I mean, yeah, I could see that with
yeah, you
some
could.
items, but for just all items, I mean, yeah, if you want to be on the safe side, yeah, go that route. Or you could list them as pre-owned, and then somebody can obviously see that
Yeah,
there's tags on them. You know what I mean?
that's
Uh, there's several different things you could do, but I guess the safest option would be to just not list them
yeah,
in the global shipping program.
yeah. David
David
also
said,
said,
my guess would be because they would have to hire and pay more people to do that.
No, because they can set up like something in the coding, the same thing that they set up for Velcro,
I
so
believe, right, right. And you would think that since they've done it with one listing, they can do it with all listings. But
yeah,
from what I've heard is that the reason why eBay's so slow at changing anything is because it's all written in, like chained off of the original code of when it started
yes,
back in 95 or 96. So if they change something, it messes. And that's why anytime they have the seller updates, everything gets messed up because
right.
they're throwing a wrench in the socket, and it just doesn't really work, that well. That's why they don't do things like that,
Yeah.
because however it would help us, it would cause us a nightmare at the same time. So like, yeah, we wouldn't get bureaus anymore, but then we'd probably all lose negative amounts of money. You know what I mean? Like sales would abruptly stop. Just because they made this one change.
Well, coming from somebody that like has a pretty good idea of how programming works, have done a little bit of myself. I think that like it could be done. It could be done for them to switch to like a newer sort of setup. But I think
Yeah.
the money involved, they probably don't want
Uh,
to pay to have it
yeah.
done. Like I feel like
I'm
that's just
sure.
something that's would take millions and millions of dollars to
Oh,
do, and they're
definitely.
just like, if the system works good enough now, like, nah,
Right.
we're just gonna rock it, So
Yeah. I mean, they're
yeah,
trying. There's things that they've implemented that make
yeah,
you know, the flow of things a little bit better. But I
yeah.
think that would be a massive undertaking that would definitely mess things up, at
No, for
least for a
sure,
couple of weeks.
for sure, for sure. Tiffany
Uh,
said, I have a vintage multi tool that I tried to list right after I listed a Swiss Army knife, and it will not let me list. Perhaps there is a word in the listing that is triggering it.
yeah,
Yeah, that could be.
that's definitely what's going on.
Yep. Like I know that there's sometimes where I'll list video games, and it'll say like it looks like you're trying to list multiple video games. Like you're listing a lot, and there's an actual category for that when I'm trying to list a single, it'll be
Yeah.
like one word in there that'll goof it up.
I've had the same thing happen. I had a pair of tights or a pair of leggings or whatever, and I used leggings and tights in the title, and you can't do that because tights
Yeah.
aren't in the leggings category, so they wouldn't let me list it until I took the word tights out of the title.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they've got some type of procedures in play for certain things, man. We just
So again, guys, let's
yeah,
let's tell eBay how mad we are about them not
right,
about letting us get Veroed. What's up,
right.
Kristen? By the way, thank you for letting
Hey,
everybody
Kristen,
know to
what's
hit
going
that
on?
thumbs up button, hit that like button if you would.
Yep,
Thank you for
yep,
doing
yep,
that,
yep.
Tracy.
Hey David, happy Thursday. You too, Squirrel. Happy to see you here.
Always happy to see you, Kristen. I was watching her videos earlier today, actually.
Yeah, I was too. Was she went to the
that's
Iowa Bins?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Iowa bins, and she's not lying. Like everybody there at the Iowa bins seemed totally like calm and
yeah,
nice and like
yeah.
orderly. You
They were like
know,
no St. Louis Bins, that's for sure.
I mean, listen, I'm still blessed to have the bins that we have, you know.
Right.
But when I see bins like that, I'm like, man, it's just
Yeah.
it's a nice little time, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I went to the bend somewhere. I think it was. I want to say it was in Arkansas. Uh, no, it was in Mississippi, and it was a very very tiny building, like the most tiniest bins I had ever been in. It was in like a strip mall, so
Oh,
like it was like yeah, so it was real small. It was like the size of a Foot Locker or something like that.
huh.
So it had like 12, 13 bins in there. You know what I mean? Something real tiny. And everybody was just so calm and casual, like just sifting through the bins, and I found a lot of good stuff in there. But it was definitely it was a different experience. It was super calm though.
Like I
Uh,
wonder, it was you said it was rural, right? Like it was in a rural
oh,
area.
this was actually in like a decent sized city. I think it was like
Oh,
Jackson, Mississippi,
okay, okay.
which
Yeah,
isn't it's
Jackson's
not tiny.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
not tiny for sure.
yeah.
But I always wonder like what makes Goodwill open a bins in a rural area. Like there's one outside. I mean I guess it's technically outside of Springfield, but it's Jacksonville, Illinois, and like they have
Right.
a bins there, and that's a pretty tiny town.
Yeah.
What? Why there instead of Springfield? You know, like
Why
why
there
why?
instead of here in Cape Girardeau? Because I definitely need one. Since I
Yeah,
drive
like I have to
2
imagine
hours
that.
to somewhere.
Yeah, like Jacksonville has to be similar size to Cape Girardeau. So, I like I wonder why they decide to put
And there's
one there.
literally only one Goodwill here in this town.
That's
There's
crazy.
one Goodwill here, and then the next Goodwill is 30 minutes away in Sykeston.
Okay,
Uh,
I
and
know where
then
that
from
is.
there, the next one is probably another 40 minutes away, closer to the Arkansas Missouri border.
Okay,
So, yeah, man. Actually, I
that's
think it might be over the border in Arkansas.
that's wild, dude. I
Yeah,
would expect like especially for a college town because college
yeah,
kids are generally poor and they don't want to
yeah,
spend up for retail clothing. You know, so
yep.
I don't know,
But dude,
man.
there's literally like only 5 thrift stores in my town.
Is is does this mean we need to open up a thrift store
Yeah, that's
in Cape?
exactly what it means. Yeah, man.
We'll just
Just a
wheel
couple
in
clothing donation vans.
we'll just wheel in 18 wheelers from St. Louis, you know, and just bring all the stuff down there.
I got an offer of $38 for some Hey Dudes, the Louis
Hey,
Vuitton
dude,
ones. I got them listed for $40. Man, that's such a reasonable offer.
I love when that happens. I
Yeah.
love a good reasonable offer. Do you ever go into your eBay app and then you see that
Uh,
you have a new offer and then you see the item and then you immediately say a number in your head that you will accept before you see the offer?
I already know what as I'm listing it what I'll accept as an offer.
But I understand that. But when you see it as an offer, when you see it has
Yeah,
an offer on it, like I'll just I'll look at an item and I'll be like, boom, right off the bat. And if it's over that number, I immediately accept. You know,
yeah, yep.
so
I definitely do that.
yeah,
I do that every morning when I wake up and I like see that I have an offer on it, and while I'm waiting for it to load to tell me what the offer is, I'm like, if it's this much, I'm taking it.
yeah,
If it's
yep,
anything above it,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
definitely. So that's cell number three since we've been actually that's cell number four since we've been live.
I always feel like the
So
podcast it summons the
it
buyers.
definitely does, man. We need to
It
just stay
does.
live 24/7.
Listen, I have streamed for 24/7 for charity. Like
That was
I'll
rough, wasn't it?
honestly, the first year was super rough because I'm a dumbass and I ended up drinking beer like halfway through. So, like 3 or 4 beers, and then it's like 4 a.m. I'm ready to go to bed. And like we're
Yeah,
streaming until like 9 a.m. So I had another 5 hours or whatever. And
yeah,
those 5 hours were the most miserable hours of my life. Like
not bad.
but so now that I'm like a healthier person and I eat right when I do it, I hydrate, the whole 9 yards, I can do 24-hour streams pretty much no problem now.
Nice.
And I still
Yeah.
drink beer at the end though. I still
My
have
only thing would be I'd have to use the bathroom throughout the whole thing quite a bit
well,
because I drink a lot of water, man.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I mean that those like it's really crucial to have like 5 minutes every hour. So like I try to get up and walk around 5 minutes every hour. So I'll take that time to like go to the bathroom and do a little stretch.
okay,
If you do that, like, and you eat right, Like you'll get through a 24-hour stream, no problem.
I mean, yeah, as long as everybody that's watching is okay with that, then I guess that's what's up.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I've thought about doing live listings because that's where I take my photos at. So literally, all I'd have to do is
Yeah,
turn the camera on and
exactly.
just do photos, and then.
You're
But I didn't
gonna
think that people would be like up for it.
you'll have to get a mic boom like this. If you guys aren't watching, it's like one of those stand-up mic booms that you can move
Yeah.
around like it's on a tripod, and then that way you can just have that connected via USB. You might have to get a USB extender, but you
Yeah.
can have that over there, you know, and
Yeah.
you'd be able to talk to people. So yeah, I think you should do it, man. Tracy
Yeah,
said,
it's trying to
I
get
always watch a
fired
World
up.
Squirrel also. First time I watched her at yours, I wondered if she met you. Oh, yeah. Her, Marcus, and I did
Yeah, we
a
have a
little
video
challenge.
together.
Yeah, there's a challenge. If you go on any of our channels, if you look back
Yep.
two,
About
three,
3 months ago.
yeah, 2, 3 months, you'll find it
Yeah.
for sure. So,
It's one of my best performing videos.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I think it's because Kristen's just so awesome.
Yes, exactly. She brought the views.
She
Uh,
definitely did.
Kristen said, why Jacksonville, Illinois? Another super chill bins surrounded by cornfields. You're not lying. It's literally like Springfield, Illinois is surrounded by cornfield, but like Jacksonville, Illinois is surrounded by cornfields. So, yeah. We have a lot of cactuses. That's funny. Is it cacti or cactuses? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's cacti.
Let's see if I can get Ray fired up. Nerd collecting for the win. Let's go. Let's go. I just added a I said it in my video. I've got a He-Man figure that I had when I was a child, and this little I don't even know what you call it. Not a buggy, but it's kind of like a buggy. But I gotta put it on the shelf. So I'm adding that to the nerd collection. Quite excited. Haven't I actually need to watch the original He-Man. I haven't watched the cartoon in a long time,
Me neither.
dude. A long time.
Hillary was dang guess I'm channeling Ray tonight with being fashionably late.
Yo, we'll forgive you this time.
Yeah. It's all good. She's always the first one here anyway.
That's
so
true. That's true.
you
It's
can be the
almost
last one here.
yeah. It's almost weird when she's not one of the first people to be in the chat.
Yeah.
I feel like
Definitely.
Tracy and her
Tracy,
and
Crystal
and
Faith.
Tiffany, those are
Yeah.
usually the ones. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Definitely.
So Hillary,
Gotta give
how's
this a
the?
thumbs up.
Or were you late because you were listing? Please say yes.
She wasn't listening. She was doing motherly duties.
Yeah, well, that is something that we don't have to worry about. And by we, I mean Marcus and I, not we
Yeah.
as in like we're
We
males.
don't have kids.
We don't have
Tracy
kids.
says a rural squirrel has a video prior to that one at your bins where you did the challenge together. I think she's got more than one video there at that bins.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, definitely.
But what I meant, Tracy, was not the recent one where I just had Kristen in there for a very short time, but the one before that, which is the challenge. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you have seen that one. But
I mean, I'll drop the link to mine.
yeah,
Sure.
I much preferred She-Ra to He-Man, but my minions like Thundercats better. See, that's weird because I was super into Masters of the Universe stuff when I was super little. I'm an 86 baby, but I never got into Thundercats. It was just something that that missed me. I geek out to Star Wars. That's my thing, and especially the Dark Side Sith. I mean, you know, you gotta love the dark side a little bit, right? In Star Wars, you know, you gotta have the yin with the yang, you know.
I just like as an adult started even watching Star Wars stuff.
I'm
Like I went to the movies when whatever Star Wars was out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The one with the what's the things, whatever the elephant looking things that shoot in the snow.
Yeah. The AT walkers or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one I went to see in the movies.
Yeah.
There's the link
Empire
to the
Strikes
video
Back.
for the one on my channel, Tracy, me, Ray, and Kristen.
Yeah, you guys can see the challenge from 3 different perspectives, which is cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
It's definitely 3 different videos for sure, even though we were all there. And then
for sure.
Grandma's Closet was there too. But
Yeah.
she didn't film.
Yeah. She also wasn't she wasn't really in the challenge either, but
Yeah,
she
she
was
just
fun to
came.
meet.
She
She
came to
was.
meet us. She brought donuts, but she left them in the car
I
because
know.
we weren't there when she first got there.
Yeah, yeah. I was ready for some donuts. The
Yeah,
AT-AT, yeah, yeah.
it was cold that day too, though, man. Yeah,
But no,
80
I
was
no, I I'm not a huge Star Wars geek myself, but I do enjoy the movies. And what's actually crazy is like the way that they're chronologically supposed to go is
yeah.
not the way that they're actually
They don't
released.
go.
There's a whole thing, like if you Google it, if you Google like Star Wars actual order,
Yeah.
you'll get the whole breakdown. I'm sure David knows what I'm talking about. So I bet David has it memorized.
So, what do you think about Disney Star Wars versus Lucasfilm Star Wars, like the
Honestly,
original?
I haven't seen the Disney stuff really. I kind of fizzled out from the last like 2 or 3 movies that Star Wars has released. Um, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't very gung ho, but I will say that I don't watch very many movies at my age
Yeah.
now. Like the last 5 years of my life, movies have been whatever to me. But before
Yeah.
that, like I was all about movies. I don't know, just a shift
So
in
I'm like a
priorities, maybe. I don't know.
I'm a horror type of movie or like action movies. So if I do
Yeah,
watch them, like that's the type of stuff I watch. Like my brother's like, you haven't seen the Avengers, and I'm like, no, and he's like, what? And he's like, you haven't seen this movie, and I'm like, no, dude, like I literally don't have time to be sitting there watching movies.
yeah,
And
and
so
there.
when I do, it's a horror movie
I
usually.
was gonna say, man, like with like Star Wars, all
Yeah,
these comic based movies are there's so many of
they're
them,
so huge
and
right
so
now
like
too.
and of course a lot of them are intertwined, so you sort of have to be like on top of what's going on to
Yeah,
understand
especially
X,
like
Y,
with the
and
Marvel
Z.
series.
Exactly.
Look,
So
David put the order in the chat too.
see, there you go. There you go. See, he
Yeah,
knows.
it's crazy.
Oh man.
Krista says, David, I had to go because my brother and cousins all went. My parents drugged me along with them.
Oh, she said that
She said,
she saw
I
Star
saw the
Wars in
original
theaters
Star Wars.
in the 80s. Got it.
Yeah.
I bet it was cool to see though when they first came out.
I bet it was like a phenom. Like, what's a phenom?
Oh
It
yeah,
was
for
like
sure. Like yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Top
for
of the line graphics. Like, whoa,
yeah.
did you see that? Like,
Yeah.
so I seen a meme the other day. I seen a meme the other day, and it was like the wrestling game from like PlayStation One, like Stone Cold, and it was a close up of him. And it's like I remember back when this game came out, I was like, bro, these graphics can't get no realer. You know what I mean? And then like you
Yeah.
look at that compared to how the graphics are nowadays, and it's like night and day, dude. Like
Oh my
it
gosh.
just don't want just.
Yeah,
It's
every
like embarrassing how much we thought that was realistic.
exactly. Like every time I test a video game to list it, I'm like, man, I loved these graphics when I was younger.
Yeah,
I'm like, these are not it. Like,
not at
you know,
all.
it's so funny that yeah, that it definitely goes that way. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks like Minecraft.
Yeah, yeah.
But back in the day,
Yeah. Which it's crazy though because Minecraft is super popular and like,
right? It's probably the cheapest game to make.
yeah, for
And probably
sure.
not, honestly, but
Yeah.
Chris says she didn't like it, but it was such a boy thing. I liked going to ET better. ET was my movie. I liked that when I
Hey,
was a
I
kid.
mean, if you don't like ET, you can get out. All right?
Well, you're a
Like
bad person if you don't like ET.
right. Like
You got tons of hate
I'm
inside you.
questioning your moral compass if you
Right.
don't like ET. If that doesn't make you feel at least a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You gotta
mean,
you gotta be in touch with your human side if you like don't if you like ET then we're friends. But if you don't like ET, you probably don't like dogs or cats or
or just
your mother.
or just making friends with people who are not like you. Like that's just a
Right.
basic human
Your
concept is to
girlfriend
like
probably hates you if she's just with you because she's afraid to leave you. Yeah,
we laugh, but
yeah.
yeah,
There's probably
seriously.
someone out there like that though, for
Seriously,
real.
like if you guys are out there trying to like scope out a potential partner, have them watch ET and then
ET,
see
yeah,
their reaction when
yeah.
they're watching the movie. Because if they're not crying, no, I'm kidding, but if they're at least not a little bit touched, like that's a
Mhm.
sign. Probably narcissistic, sociopath,
Right,
psychopath. You know,
definitely. Uh, David said, Or no, Hillary says top of the line graphics when the original Star Wars came out was literally smearing Vaseline on the movie film. Heck
I
no.
mean, yeah, yeah, it,
It was like watching a movie from now, but back then, and ET was crazy epic too, though, Squirrel. Yeah, it was.
it was.
Spielberg, man.
Yeah, exactly. Spielberg. That's all you got to say.
When ET was hiding in the closet with all the plush was one of the greatest movie moments in all time. And
Of
that's exactly
course.
the part that I thought about when we started talking about ET.
Yeah, and the
He's
little
got like the
girl.
blanket wrapped around and
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep,
ET phone home.
yep.
Yeah, man. Uh, I'm questioning your moral compass, definitely. If you don't like ET, seriously though, we just watched it with our 10-year-old and cried again.
See,
Yep, there we go.
see, yo, if I watched it right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably have to hold back some tears. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. Like it.
it's one of those movies, man. It's a tearjerker for real.
Okay, let me ask you this: is there a movie to this day that will guaranteed make you cry? Because mine is My Girls. Like I every
That was a
time,
super sad movie, dude.
or My Girl, not My Girls,
That
My
with
Girl, My
Macaulay
Girl.
Culkin.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
every
you
time,
talking about?
every time.
I don't I don't really remember too many movies that like touched me that much, just because it's probably been too long since I've seen them. So
Sure.
I'm gonna have to opt out of this one, but I'm sure there is. I just can't remember.
No, it's like that's why I've avoided watching My Girl is because I know, like I know it's gonna
Uh,
make me emotional, you
He's like,
know,
wake up!
or
He's
or
stuck. He's just asleep.
or
He's dead.
the ending of Terminator 2 when the thumb in the lava, you know, and like
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about,
yeah.
dude. That's
Uh,
you know
I'm trying to think of another super
super
sad one,
emotional.
man. I just can't really think right now. There's too many movies, and I'm trying to like scan through the database in my brain real quick, and it's like short circuiting. I cried everything. I mean, even Cheerios commercials.
That's funny.
Yeah, and those are supposed to be happy.
Well, hey, there's happy tears, you know, so
Yeah, I can see that.
for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, Terminator 2 and My Girl. That every time it gets me. Sometimes if I see Terminator 2 like on like if I'm somewhere that has cable TV and it's like being shown
hmm,
on cable TV,
yeah.
I skip past the ending. I do. I just watch it all the way up,
Speaking
you know.
of cable TV, if you guys know Dante, Prison of Profit, his 60 Days In season starts tonight on A&E.
Oh, really? Dude,
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope.
yeah, yeah, man.
Awesome. Awesome.
I think that's going to be very interesting, because
Yeah.
he did like almost 10 years in prison, so he knows how to do prison. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to go back in for 60 days is definitely it's going to be it's going to be different to see him in his former element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm definitely intrigued as a man that's been locked up for years before. I it's something that, and not that I ever want to go back to jail. It's something that I do think of quite often. Like, man, I remember when I was in jail, this happened. Or I remember when I was in jail, that happened. Or man, I don't want to ever go back to jail because of this happening. You know what I mean? Like, not being able to use the bathroom whenever you want to use the bathroom is a problem, especially if you've been drinking a lot of water. Ain't no good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's important to reflect on that, you know,
Yeah,
and just not necessarily shut it out, but realize like the lessons that you've learned from
yeah,
being in a
yep,
situation like that. You know,
definitely.
because it's not fun for a reason, you know.
Yep, yep.
So yeah.
David says another one of my favorites was Goonies.
Hey,
Definitely love Goonies,
David,
man.
Goonies never die, baby. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. So
Goonies never
that's
die,
what Hillary
baby.
said too. I'm very interested to see how Tay does going back to prison. Yep. From the teasers, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Uh, Kristen says, I'm totally going to watch that. Marcus, would you do 60 Days In? I would. I would do it
Really?
just knowing at the end of it, I would get to leave again. And it would also be a refresher course on why you don't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? But it would be awesome to it would be awesome doing it. And the only reason why I say awesome is because at the end of it all, you know you get to go home. It's not forever, or it's not for an extended amount of time, and you do know that. there's a purpose behind it. You know what I mean? So that would be the only reason why I would ever consider doing it. But I probably never will. Although that I would, I just won't unless the opportunity comes up. But
What's the
so
dollar
that would
amount?
have to be one heck of a draft bank to do 60 days in. What's the dollar
That's
amount?
also true. That's also true. But yeah,
Man,
what's the dollar amount
it'd have to
to
be
do it?
pretty high, man. It'd have to be significant, like at least at least five figures.
Yeah.
So 20,000, 25,000 for
Yeah.
60 days. Yeah, I would do it for that much. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I'm thinking, unfortunately, it's probably more like 5 to 8,000, and
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
not worth it for me. 60 days,
I
dude. I
feel
can make
like
so
yeah.
much more than that.
I feel like it's got to be sub 10,000. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
I feel like that for a show of that caliber. Not saying that it's a low caliber show, but
Yeah,
like, you know, you're not making a Marvel movie.
right,
You know,
right. Yeah, it's
so
unscripted, so like it's pretty cheap. You know what I mean? As far as production goes. But
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
I've
mean,
sold
dude,
another item.
nice, nice.
Good thing I had that sound turned down.
I was gonna say 20 G's might make up what you would make in 60 days. You know, that
No,
would
not at all,
actually be
dude.
about right. That'd be about
Um,
right.
I'm at 80,000 for the year so far, so we ain't even over. I guess for 2 months, yeah,
It'd be about
it's a
right.
little less than what I'm
Yeah,
usually making, but
yeah,
that that would is it tax free though? Is
right,
this pre tax or post tax?
right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So
That's a
that
good
that'd have to
question.
go into play too.
Tiffany
Yeah.
said we just watched Stand by Me as well. I remember that movie,
I remember
just the
the movie,
title.
but I don't remember the movie.
I'm exactly there with you. I like
Yeah,
I remember the title, but I don't remember the context of the movie. I'm gonna have to go back and look at
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
I'd rather go on alone than do that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
Uh,
fair. That's fair. All right, guys. Well, we are at our time. Is there anything that you want to add before we get out of here?
just check out the videos we're releasing tomorrow.
Yep.
Dude, my shorts have been popping lately.
You're,
Gotten like 20 subscribers in the last 2 days.
your shorts. I thought you were talking about your actual clothing
Not like
shorts.
actual shorts. No, yeah,
I
just
was like, why are your shorts popping?
yeah. So
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. Heck yeah.
check out the
No,
channel.
I took
Hit
a
the
look at
Discord.
yours earlier today, and I was like, dude,
Yeah,
those are some numbers. Those
yeah.
are some numbers. But anyway, guys, yeah, bright and early. Mine will drop at 7 a.m. Well, actually, Zesty's. I'm editing a episode that
Nice.
Zesty did solo, so go check that out. Leave her a
Hey,
comment.
let's go.
So yeah,
So
yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. If you guys would like to nominate a channel for the channel highlight, we're also gonna have to come up with like a clever name for the channel highlight, the weekly channel highlight.
yeah,
But yeah,
get there.
we're doing a thing where we're gonna take like 5 minutes out of the show to highlight a fellow reseller's YouTube channel. So if you go into our Discord, there's actually a sub channel for Good Pickins, this podcast. You can put the link in there to nominate a channel to get highlighted. So yeah, go check it out,
You can
guys.
even nominate your own channel.
Yeah, yeah. Don't feel like you can't be selfish a little bit and nominate yourself. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week on Marcus's channel, 7 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. EST. We'll see you guys then, and until then, let's make this cash, as Marcus
So,
says.
yeah, let's make this cash, guys.
Peace out,
Peace.
guys.